Well, hi everyone. It is a Kings of War battle report, 2,300 points. My Twilight Kin, which is kind of turned out to be that way last minute, against Chris's Abyssal Dwarves. So let's go look at what's going on here. So this is a 2,300 points game. We're doing a test scenario, so we always like to do control. And yeah, originally, Chris really wanted to try out the new Twilight Kin, and I was going to bring my Kingdoms of Men. And yeah, me and him started to talk, and we decided to have a little fun. And so he actually had me bring Twilight Kin to create a list, and he was going to play his Abyssal Dwarf. So yeah, we thought we would have a little fun. So I did have a Twilight Kin list that I sort of created at a last minute. I would say I'm sorry for the blurry pictures and the empty bases. Yeah, I think that Chris was really excited to get this battle report up. So yeah, it is what it is. Just to be careful about those blurry pictures. But let's go into my list. So me not being, just traditionally being a Kingdoms of Men player, I looked at the Twilight Kin list and I built something that I thought would be a little competitive. So I went basically with the Navigator. The Legacy of Orskin basically has the Vicious for Twilight Elf, and he has the Stealth and Spell Ward for Void Touched. So that's what I did. I basically picked all units that have Twilight Elf and Void Touched in their keywords. And it's all really based around these double navigators here who are just going to do their stealth and spell ward aura on the way in, and when they get into combat, they're gonna cast vicious. So I have that going on. That's sort of the centerpiece of the army. Two Void Touch mutants that are just really good. I don't even care for the low nerve value. They're just terrific. Have everything they need, especially with the vicious. I've got the four hordes of impalers in one regiment. Just a really solid Def 6 block, and they're really just going to do their own thing while also sort of protecting the war mutants who are a little squishy. I've got one planer. I think personally, I think that's all you need is just one planer. Just enough heal to kind of top off the army. I've got a Summoner Crone with Periscope with the weakness. I think that's all a Summoner Crone needs. It's just weakness with a Periscope. I had 5 points. And then I've got three Impaler Soulbanes, which, yeah, are just, they're great. So, all in all, I think this is a pretty tight list that I came up with. All right, let's look at Chris's list. He's got Black Souls, a Horde with Fiery Bulwark and Hammer. That's going to do very well with me. He's got his two regular regiments of Immortal Guard that he's giving Throwing Mastiffs to, 3 units of Gargoyles, a Hellfang with the +2 aura wild charge on infantry. He's got an Ironcaster with Shroud of the Saint. He's got 2 Hexcasters, one with Periscope, one with Piercing Arrow, both with weakness. He's got the Overmaster on his winged half-breed, so basically his dragon that he's got with Fury, and he's got the Damned of Jaeger, which is the special unit combination. So it comes with 2 regiments of Immortal Guard that have they have the lower defense and the +1 crush. He's given them Throwing Masters, and then he's got the Infernox that has hit the aura of melee infantry. He's also given them the Sacred Horn. So both of us are rocking about 14 units. I've got 24 unit strength. He's got 22. So we're pretty similar on that. Let's look at the setup. And again, I'm going to apologize for the blurry pictures, but I'll go through it. So here, my setup is pretty straightforward, where I have the Impalers, which are the whites. You'll start seeing I have them written, and I've got my Soulbanes kind of tucked in between these Impaler regiments. I've got from my Knights Templar Humans and Men, I have these priests that I'm running as my navigators, and then I've got my thief character who is my crone. And then there is also this monster, sort of this troll here, that is that's the planar apparition. And you'll see the specialized bases that aren't the paper, those are my mutants. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward where I'm tucking in that Soulbane in between all these Impalers, and I've got the mutants behind them. So just towards the center here, yes, sorry about the blurry pictures here. I've got my Soulbanes just there, and I've got one Soulbane on the far right, I've got the regiment of impalers. And again, all they're really doing is sort of just protecting these mutants. Yeah, I've got the 2 navigators on each side. It's probably blurred here, but you'll see these navigators. I've got 2 of them, so I can basically cover the entire army. Here you get a much better picture where you see both of my navigators are kind of in their different segments of the army. So it's really an army that's just going to move forward and just fight in hand-to-hand, be strong on the way in, and I have some heal as well as some weakness. And this is Chris's army. He's sort of set up very similar where he's got his... let's just go into... Oh, yeah, so I'll just show this as a close-up. You can see it's my 3 hordes of impalers, my Soulbane. So you can just get a better picture here that actually has them notated here. Yeah. So for Chris, he's got his Black Souls in the center. He's using these little dogs for his throwing mastiffs. So he's actually put his defensive immortals towards my left, and he's got his Overmaster behind them. He's then got his gargoyles behind them to sort of protect them, and he's got his mages. He's got his miners, these little miner guys. These are his hex casters, and he's got his iron caster back with the flames. Chris, as always, has a really nice looking army. He's got his Hellbane on the far right flank to sort of see what he can do on that side. And yeah, his 3 gargoyles are just behind them. All right, Chris does get to go first, and he at this point he just moves forward. He shoots. He has some long range firepower that he shoots. I think it's a weakness that he shoots into my Soulbane, does 2 wounds, and then he has his other Hexcaster who shoots the. I think it's the Hex. I think he actually is able to do Hex at this range. Point being is that I think that they take 1 and 2 wounds as well. So. An uneventful first turn that he basically just moves forward. All right, so on my turn, bottom of turn 1, I just move up. At this point, I pop the Planar Apparition has his aura of healing and then also just heals the other Soulbane, so I remove all the wounds he did to me. Both of my navigators are going to pop the Stealth and Spell Ward aura. And I basically just shove forward pretty aggressively with the Impalers. Remember, they have that wall charge D3. So I basically just get out of charge range for Chris. And with my wild charge, I should be able to first strike him. And then I know he's got his Overmaster. So I am tucking those Soulbanes. You see they're just a little back. I'm basically just tucking those Soulbanes so that they can't get charged. And just really using my Impalers. I shove up a little bit less aggressive since I know he's got that Hellbane. So I do basically stay at a charge range of that Hellbane as well. And it's just my 2 navigators just covering the aura. My Crone moves up and he weaknesses the Hellbane. So I don't even do any wounds. I just get the weakness off on the Hellbane. Excuse me. Top of turn 2. So with Chris. He first of all, he pushes his Overmaster. I think he's recognizing that he doesn't want to sort of get this big charge. So he puts his Overmaster into the far left into one of my units of Impalers. It's not showed, but basically he puts both of his dogs on these 2 Immortal units into my Soulbane. He also moves up both of his Gargoyles. He's basically hoping to chaff me up, and then he can get the first charge on me. So that's his plan. Here, the same thing. He moves forward, pushes his Gargoyles up so they can tank that first hit, and then he hopefully can get some charges on me first. So that's his plan. He does do 5 wounds into my Soulbane, and he weaknesses him. So total of 5 wounds, but he does stick. He also hexes my Planar Apparition on the hill. Does 3 wounds to him as well. He rolls really bad with his Overmaster. Only does 2 wounds in my Impalers, so a bit unimpressive there. So my bottom of turn 2. So it took me a little bit of time, but I was able to figure out. The first thing is that with Nimble, I was able to get around these Gargoyles and basically hit the flank of those Black Souls, because he did sort of give me a little bit of room there. I don't think he saw that. So I was able to get the flank with the... Now, he is weaknessed, but I'm still getting a flank. I've got one of my navigators, which basically just moves forward. I move actually pretty aggressive with this navigator. I'm not too worried even if he dies, just so I can maximize that vicious aura. So this navigator pops vicious, And as you can see here, yeah, he's up aggressive, but he's basically giving vicious to all these units. The planer just go ahead and just tanks the hex wounds, and I heal 3. Yeah, I heal, I think, 2 wounds back to my Soulbane that flanked those Black Souls. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't really care. The planer heals them. The other thing I do is I have these Impalers here that actually move back close to the planar apparition, and I am able to double charge his Overmaster. Big thing, especially with these mutants. Those mutants now get Elite and Vicious and Thunders too. The Impalers on the other side, I'm able to fit in and flank those Harpies. And then I also send my Soulbane into the other unit of Gargoyles. I'm sorry. On the right side, yeah, so in addition to flanking his Black Souls, I put one of my other Impalers into his Black Souls. I also combo charge the Gargoyles on the far right. So at this point, I feel I don't need... Basically, the Navigator on the left is giving everyone Vicious. So this Navigator on the right pops the Spell Ward and Stealth again. All right, so on that turn... I also... my Summoner Crone also casts Weakness on his... Hellfang again, so that does happen. And yeah, that's just some pictures. I actually do 17 wounds into these Black Souls and waver them. So the waver is good. I am exposing my flank, but I that's pretty good to hit those Black Souls. I think that these things aren't going to be long for the world. Just with that's fine for me. Yeah, I kill the Gargoyles on both sides, and both my mutants and my Impalers kill the Overmaster. So I am in range to get charged, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so that's just that side. On the center here, so the Soulbane as well kills those Gargoyles, and center surges forward. And then on the right as well, I kill the last unit of Gargoyles. So Chris is able to sort of get this initial charge on me. But I also feel with Def 6, another thing you're going to see here is this Summoner Crone. He actually moves. I guess it's she, whatever. Moves very aggressively towards the center, so I can get their inspiring bubble on these 3 units. So, and yeah, you can see. I think I do 1 wound on that Hellfang, which is also weaknessed. All right, the top of 3. So he does charge my mutants with his Immortal Guard. I'm actually okay if even the mutants get wavered. I don't think he's going to kill the mutants, and I've got the planer there. He does shoot. I think he weaknesses this time my planer, and he wavers him. He also heals the Black Souls for 4. So the Black Souls are down to 13 now. He also gets a flank, and so, because I didn't kill these Black Souls, he's able, actually gets a rear into this Soulbane. So Soulbane's probably dead. He gets a flank charge into these Impalers. Yeah, he also weaknesses these Impalers as well. So he gets 3 wounds on them, I think, with just some Fireball and weaknesses. And he puts his Hellfang into my Soulbane on the right. So yeah, just some counter charges on him. He does 7 wounds into the mutants, but he actually doesn't waver them, so that's good. I don't think I needed them. As long as they survived, I was okay, but the fact that they aren't wavered is fine as well. He does kill the Soulbane with the rear charge, and then he turns to face my Impalers. Yep. Over on this side, he also he does waver. We didn't notate it, but he does waver my planar apparition with 9 wounds. So that planar apparition is wavered. Yeah, and his Immortal Guard do kill my Impalers. So there are Def 4 on the flank, so he does kill my Impalers. Does 4 wounds with the Hellfang into my Soulbane, but they stick. All right, bottom of 3. At this point, yeah, I am able to double charge those Immortal Guard on the left with the flank from the Impalers. They're probably dead. Even though the planar apparition is wavered, I do just get the aura heal. So I heal 1 from the mutants. They're down to 6, and it itself heals 1. I go ahead and just charge the immortals in front of me. Again, I'm very aggressive with these navigators, and my characters just I can my guys are pretty big at a lot of them are height 3, so I can really be aggressive with these characters and just sort of put them right. Like I have my Summoner Crone like right in front of his units. I do turn the impalers that are on the hill and they go towards the center. I generally see that the left flank is crumbling. My Soulbane goes into the Black Souls. I have a good chance on wavering, if not just killing these guys. I mean, because again, this Navigator on the left pops his Vicious aura again. And yeah. On the right, yeah, both Navigators have popped Vicious now. My caster, yeah, just walks right up behind the Soulbane and is able to, just to give his inspiring aura, or her inspiring aura, whatever. I think I do weakness the Immortal Guard. I weakness one of the Immortal Guards. And the Impalers, they go into the Immortal Guard. That actually gives me a flank into the Hellfang. So the Mutants get the flank into the Hellfang. That's just that. And yeah, both units. So everyone's got Elite and Vicious. This is just me. Oh, I weakness the Immortal Guard on the hill. I do like a couple of wounds on them. So yeah. So I do. I do like. I think I roll pretty good, and I do enough wounds to double one him, and then I double one him. So these Black Souls are actually good. There you go. I do kill the on the far left. Those Immortal Guard with the combo charge get killed, and then I also roll pretty good with the Impalers on the middle, and I kill them too. So that's actually a really good roll for me. And now those Impalers are Elite and Vicious with Crush 1. I roll pretty good, but I think I roll some good waivers. So actually in the center, the left flank, it crumbled a lot faster because I was able to kill those Immortal Guard as well. So yeah, the double ones and the Black Souls was bad, but it's not actually. I actually would take that in the fact that I was able to clear up the second Immortal Guard regiment with those Impalers. You know, those Impalers aren't just Def 6 with Crush 1 and then hitting on 3s with Elite and Melee, with Elite and Vicious. They are like super solid, so they can kill stuff too. The Impalers do a few wounds into the Immortals in front of them, and then I am able to kill that Hellfang. I mean, Mutants into the flank with Elite and Vicious is definitely going to kill them as well. So, top of 4. He double charges the Impaler Regiment. Now, one of these guys is wavered. Is weaknessed. And he shoots at the Soulbane on the far right. He does 2 more wounds into them. I don't have my Spell Ward or Stealth, so it's just natural rolling. He does two more wounds on him, but the Soulbane sticks. One thing as well. Yeah, I forgot that this Infernox has Nimble. And so he actually is able to get a flank into my Impalers. So good on him. He goes back into my Soulbane. He actually rolls like 11. He rolls good, and he does like 11 wounds into them, and then he double ones. So I sort of get that double ones back onto him. So there you go. His Infernox is able to kill my Impalers on the flank. Yeah, he's going to kill them. He actually, again, he only does 3 wounds into those Impalers. One of these guys is weakness, and he's also only able to get Elite on the left unit of Immortals. So with Def 6, yeah, I mean, those guys are dash 14 anyway, so there's a good chance they were going to stick. So they did stick. Bottom of 4. Yeah, I send the Mutants into the Infernox. The Mutants did get weaknessed. But they still go into the Infernox. Again, I'm using Vicious Aura for both. I get a flank with the Impalers into the Black Souls. I don't think it's necessary. The Planar Apparition moves up and gets his Aura of Life, and then I forgot who I heal, but I do heal someone. And yeah, I counter the Impalers into the left and Immortals, and then my Mutants are able to get into the right Immortals. And then I also weaken. I think I weakness. Oh yeah, both of my navigators are able to use their icy breath and the weakness onto his Ironcaster. Uh, yeah, I heal the Soulbane. Yeah, for 3. That's from the planer. Yeah, actually, I shoot the Ironcaster. I do a couple of wounds. At this point, as it's really more it's just a nice to have that icy breath. So yeah, I think I do a few wounds, but I don't kill the Ironcaster or waver him. Right, and yeah, the mutants are able to kill the Infernox. The Immortals, the mutants kill the Immortals and they surge forward. I do a few wounds onto these Immortals from the Impalers, but they stick. And the top of 5. So he actually, this is my mistake. He as you can kind of see, the entire left flank for me is gone for him. He's got 1 unit left. He actually does get, this is my bad, he does get a cheeky flank, I forgot about this, into the mutants. So he gets the mutants. He also shoots the, he tries to shoot off some of my wounded units. Oh, that's right. He shoots off the planar apparition. So the planar apparition there, he does kill the mutants. And then he concedes. At that point, it's turn 5. He's got 1 unit left, and so on bottom of 5 for me. So this is basically what the battlefield looks like minus the mutants. We didn't take a picture. You get the idea that, yeah, I mean he just doesn't have enough. So at this point, it's a turn 5. It's a turn 5 concession and victory to the Twilight Kin. Yeah, I'm not a Twilight Kin expert here, but feels like a really good list to watch out for, and I think it could be refined further. This is just something I put together, on a lark. Let's just go over some learning points. So yeah, navigators. I think 60-point navigators are really good. I think I don't even care about the what's it called, the life leech 2. I've already forgot about it because to me it doesn't even matter. It's all about the legacy of Oskin and it's those units that have the Twilight Elf and Void Touched units. That ability to do stealth and spell ward like as a defensive and then vicious as an offensive, and to be able to pick and choose that every turn. Also, just the icy breath on them. I mean, like icy breath, and these guys are 60 points too. They're so good. I run 2 of them, and you're able basically to cover your entire army. So yeah, a single planar apparition is great. Maybe it would be nicer if they could run multiple of them, but honestly, I think a single one does great. I almost say you don't even need more. The army, I would say, has especially with all those buffs, it sort of has all the special rules it needs. Like I had 5 points left over that I put Periscope on, but yeah, I feel you really don't need magic items with this army. I think the Summoner Crone, I mean, for me, I'm sure it can be refined further. To me, just the Summoner Crone with weakness that wounds is just great. And by the way, the Inspiring on that Summoner Crone is so good. So yeah, just something to look out for as well. All right, well, thanks for watching. You can always play against me on Universal Battles 2. I'm always interested in feedback. We've sort of been a little radio silent on Kings of War just because, we're waiting on the new Clash of Kings. So, but we had fun with this game. I mean, I know we're kind of playing a pre-Clash of Kings list, but yeah, we had a good time. Love to get some feedback. We'll be doing more Kings of War content once Clash of Kings come out, and we're sort of able to get a good picture of what the next year is going to be. Hey, you can always like, subscribe, and comment. If you're in Austin, join the Austin Alternative Gaming Freaks, where I'll happily play you in a lot of different games. Thanks a lot.